Yeah. Whoop. I ain't tryna bring you down, but for real, you might as well give up now. Think you got a chance, but I don't see how. Got a real tight grip when I hold that crown. My life been good and bad and all around. The more things I lost, the more I found. One thing I taught myself to do, no matter the problem, refuse to lose. So, how you want it, man? You can choose. If you can't take the heat, don't light the fuse. See, I walk in slow and ignite the room. Like fire, everything I touch, I consume. I'm getting up while y'all just snooze. While you make breakfast, man, I'm on the move. I'm the first one in and the last one out. Whoever owns the place gotta drag me out. In me I trust, yeah, I smell like success, this Elon Musk, huh? Everybody wanna be like us, we don't stop, cause the top just ain't enough, huh? I ain't never gay, no, I ain't scared, man, you know black men don't blush, huh? Came here ready to fight on this night, you better just run for your life. Won't you come and see what it's like, living by the rules that you write. You ain't know those lavish delights, now you had no back in sight. All the little lies you recite, just makes all the savage unite. Usually I'm very polite, but I'ma get savage tonight. Even when a dog being nice, every single dog gonna bite. You might think I'm wrong, but I'm right. Just let it get a strong appetite. I'ma let it breathe just a little, give it to you strong, heavy metal. I don't make a sound when I strike. You better just run for your life. Run for your life.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WardRadio live stream. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, and today I'm joined in the studio by a special guest who happened to be in Los Angeles. Got a little layover going on. We are joined by Doctor Manhattva on on X. You guys may recognize him as that face that shows up in your Twitter profile. He gets pretty wild engagement on X.com. But his real name, Ben Rogers, and he's holding up the fort in Salt Lake City, and he's doxing himself coming on our show today.
Well, it's nice to be doing it myself.
Yeah, exactly. So we saw that you were coming into town. I said, you know what? We just got to get you in the studio. I don't know exactly what for. I guess this might be a kind of little Ask Me Anything.
Yeah.
But we got some really cool people hanging out with us via Zoom. None other than Luke Hansen, editor-in-chief of WardRadio News, as well as
I really do not appreciate being introduced as a really cool person right after Ben Rogers.
Okay.
That's just like...
That's
Come
funny.
on, Cardin.
And Brad Whitbeck, who has expressed disdain for the title Apostle 2028 and suggested in a previous live stream that we introduce him as the erudite thespian, the actor, also known as... what did you prefer? As King Benjamin from the Book of Mormon movies? How should we introduce you, Brad?
Why not Ward Greeter?
What?
The dream job.
Ward Greeter. That's
the
funny.
best of all callings.
Yep, that's the dream job.
Okay, so you put out a thing here. A mutual friend kind of introduced us, for lack of a better term. And you said yesterday, I'm going to pull this up on the screen so that our audience can see it here. You said something interesting on your Twitter profile. I think I might go on WardRadio show while I'm in California. Any topics you want to hear about if my timing works out with Cardin? You said he's a good dude. Thank you very much.
You are a good dude.
Well, what did they want to talk about? What did people say they want to talk about?
let's-
I'm a little
let's
bit
look at it.
nervous to press this. What did you guys think? What do you guys think they would say he would want to talk about? What do you think, man?
Let's.
I mean, obviously, it was
cyclists is gonna
cyclists.
be number one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cyclists? Oh, yeah, that's just what I need in my life. More cyclist nonsense.
Wait, by the way, I didn't get that joke until you explained it to me, and I was like, why is everybody asking about a cyclist? That's funny.
Oh, bro. Sometimes
So-
the universe manifests itself in just the strangest ways, doesn't it?
Okay, so I'm going to click on this thing, and I'm actually gonna see I'm really actually excited about this because I think it's always so fun when you get to put a name to a face and actually see what the reality behind the cyberspace persona is.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully people are going to be asking us some cool questions, going to be showing us what's up. You got just a really quick reminder here as you guys are coming in, please make sure you like the stream on your way in. Okay, smash that like button, as we like to say in the YouTube world. Also, big shout out for all of our super chatters. We got some new people that have
These are some of my people.
yeah. Oh, sweet. That's good to
Hey.
hear.
That's my guy, Travis. I see
Oh.
Carla Vegas in there. Yeah, Carla.
Dude, speaking
Love
of,
her.
Travis just gifted 10 memberships.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
My man.
And it looked like he joined himself.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Travis-
Who's
Travis
joining
is a
you?
good
Are you
dude.
being the ward greeter then, Brad? Are you going to welcome these new members to Ward Radio?
Yeah, Brad. We have no
Uh,
keepers of the chat, so we need a keeper of the chats.
Sure. We are welcoming to the ward 10 people. We have landed Heather Larson, Memer, Bryce Bouticlefer, I'm sure that's not how it's pronounced, Charles Neal, Robert Frith, Terry Taylor, Rosemary Warnes, Glenn Spendlove, Alex Monroe, Heather Hansen, Fog Defense, and Danny Gray. Wait,
Beautiful.
those last
No.
two were just saying welcome, guys. So everyone give a W in the chat for everyone who's just joined. W times 10.
Okay,
I think
cool.
times
Awesome.
11.
So,
And only gifter
including
himself.
Travis himself.
Yes, Travis.
okay, so just really quick, here's some rapid fire answers from your Twitter profile. By the way, you haven't been accused of anything wild or crazy yet, and I'm going to regret having you on my show, right? Because I kind of just found out you were in town, and I just said, okay, all right, let's come on here. And I'm a pretty ecumenical person, you know what I'm saying? So there's like no crazy stuff looming
I have
out there,
a
right?
lot of work towards being a peacemaker. Okay. We all have things we're working towards. I am working towards being a peacemaker.
Okay,
I
cool.
want to be like Brad.
All right, rock on. I dig that because it's kind of funny. I saw that on the top of your profile here, where we'll put this on the screen for anybody that is unfamiliar with you. I confess I'm not a Twitter swamp monster. I don't know Twitter very well. Basically, what happens is usually Kwaku says something crazy or starts some firestorm, and all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up with alerts from Twitter because people start tagging me, trying to tattletale on Kwaku, and I have to remind them I'm not his father. You know what I'm saying? And then I have to go on there and then usually reprimand the hyper-conservative psychopath that hates him, and then like the crazy woke scold that hates him. You know what I'm saying? To remind them all that they're disliking him for the wrong reasons. And then I go back to what I was doing before. So let me just show him your profile right here. That's how I first saw you, was in one of those interactions. But it says the Twitter peacemaker of enlightenment. Interesting.
Well, what it used to say prior to President Nelson's talk was I was the Twitter warlord.
Oh,
So I changed that to the Twitter peacemaker, and I failed miserably at doing that. But we're always working to get better. We're going to do.
It's how it goes, right? We just fail forward one step at a
and
time.
just hope no one's filming
and
you.
forgive each other.
Right?
okay, cool. And I hope somebody's not filming you. Yeah, I've only seen like 10 seconds of that video. It was really funny.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, here we go. I'm just clicking on this. I'm clicking on this. Now, we're going to give preference, obviously, to Super Chats. If you guys have any questions for one Doctor Manhattva, any opinions, any hate watchers?
We got Miguel
Yeah.
Olvera, who
okay.
popped in to say, Salty Mormon says hello.
Salty Mormon says hello. Okay, cool.
I love seeing some of my people on here.
Okay, all right. That's good to
fun.
hear.
I'm looking
It's
at
cool.
my Twitter right now.
Okay, so anyway, I'm just going to put this up on the screen so everybody can see it really fast. I'm clicking on this in real time, and let's see what people asked. Andrew Campbell asks, why is SLC so woke, and how can we stop it? I don't know if you're a shaman. There's Brad Whitbeck. Oh, our very own Brad Whitbeck commented.
Talk cyclist.
He
Yeah, I
said,
did.
talk cyclist, but for real. It would be awesome to hear about your testimony, mission story, stuff like that. Okay, so we're going to humanize you, see what you're like.
All right.
There's a Donate Act Blue
That's so
ad
bad.
right here for you. That's pretty funny. Then Matthew L. They'd really have to hear your testimony, Jairus, and Sarah, your Book of Mormon stories relate to our current day corrupt politicians.
He was on your show, wasn't he?
Oh wait, that's Matthew. Oh yeah, duh. Okay.
And I
Good-
believe
he's
we
a good
just
dude.
have the same Matthew super chatting
Oh,
just now.
Yeah, Matthew's
Saying,
good.
thank you
Son
for
of
the
Matt,
super chat,
yeah.
Matthew. Yeah. And he said, what are some stories from the Book of Mormon that remind you of our current political climate?
Bro.
So do we want to start there?
How about the whole
that
book?
Might tie
Yeah.
in. That might be why Salt Lake is woke, and then some Book of Mormon stuff together.
Bro, how about the whole book? How about the whole book? You know, it literally was written for our day. And I think that anyone who's paid any attention to the book whatsoever will attest to the same thing. Why is Salt Lake so woke? Dude, I don't know. I think I'm the last guy there, you know, still standing where my family grew up, and it's a very different place from, you know, my kids grew up in a very different world than I did. And it makes me sad. It was like the best place in the world to grow up is up in the avenues, and it's just gotten
So
really.
are you in
woke.
Salt Lake proper then, or somewhere thereabouts?
I am fortunate enough to live just in upper avenues, and I look down on Temple Square. My house is pointed right at the temple.
okay.
Oh, wow.
Is that in the penthouse suite that the Quorum of the 12 Apostles gave you?
Actually,
for your
well,
online activism?
No.
After they wrote our checks to us?
Hey, I assure you, they do not approve of my behavior.
That's funny. So give us the whole 9 yards. Just first, tell us who you are, what your story is. Give us the whole gamut here,
Sure.
bro.
Well,
Who are you in real
okay,
life?
the
whole 9 yards.
I'm a regular dude. I got on Twitter. I started just defending the church. You know, Reddit and Twitter were just kind of like sewers for, you know, anti-content.
Oh yeah.
And I had my name and my handle. It said, like, you know, Ben Rogers, and it was just like some cartoon drawing of me. I was nobody. And I don't know, I just got a lot of haters. I started memeing them. I started, you know, kind of making fun of them. They got really mad. And so then they started, you know, went to my wife's Instagram, my kids' Instagram, started posting pictures of my wife, my kids, me. Most unflattering pictures they could find of me from like 20 years ago with no beard and no chin, with a belly, you know, like hiking with my kids sweating with a bad haircut. And I was like, oh, bro, this is...
yeah. Rock on.
So, I mean, I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, the rumor is they hired like a PI, or they did something, or they involved somebody that had the capacity to look things up about me. And I was getting, you know, photos of like my front door, you know, just psychos. And I just thought, you know, what are you going to do to me? Are you gonna come get me, my kids? So I had two choices. I could either just delete it and hide, or I could just lean into it. So my name, Doctor Manhattva, kind of came as a result of my previous account, which they were successful in banning because they'd mass report me for whatever they could. But it was satirical, and my name was Bodhisattva, which in Buddhism is someone who is enlightened, but they don't go on to nirvana because they feel it is their duty to stay behind and enlighten men.
So it's like deep.
Okay. I was Bodhisattva. And
Okay.
once that was dead, I just kind of I Googled who's the most powerful superhero. It was Dr. Manhattan. But I kind of wanted everybody to know it was me. So it became Dr. Manhattva.
But who's Dr. Manhattan? Do you know who that is, Brad? Do you know who that is, Luke? Am I just a pop
from
culture
the
bonehead?
Watchmen, right?
That's
The Watchmen
right.
series, the blue guy.
I wear more clothes. I'm not as blue.
Ah,
I'm almost
You
as
are as
powerful.
ripped, right?
that's funny. Wait,
So in getting doxxed, I just leaned into it. You know, you say you're all these things. Well, it turns out I am all those things.
wow, here's Dr. Manhattan. I don't follow the Watchmen, man.
It's a little edgy. It's not. I don't even think it's.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, edgy, yeah.
I haven't even watched it. I just
They
like, I don't
covered
think
I've
his-
ever actually seen it.
They've covered his junk with an M.
Yeah, literally, literally, like in the movie, he's hangs out with his wang out. You know, it's kind of the.
Shut up, really? That's
Yeah.
funny.
So Anyway, it was a play on those words, and that's where my name came from. But in doing so, I just decided to actually post real photos of myself, that weren't 20 years old, where I wasn't hiking with my kids from a bad angle. Say, this is me. This is what I look like. I still get people still want to get in arguments with me about my AI generated face. Whatever.
Okay.
Here I am. This is me.
Just challenge every single one of them to a beard off.
Dude, my beard's going gray. Like it's gone grayer since that image was made, and I look at it now. I'm like, dude, I'm getting old.
Well, here's what we're going to do really fast.
It looks awesome.
I think as a really good introduction, as we're waiting for everybody else to come into this live stream, I am putting up on the screen for audience to see. I am clicking on your profile pic, and we are zooming. We are zooming into this to see how big it is. Okay, so there is your AI generated profile pic. So there's your profile pic, and here are you.
I don't even know which way to
Boom,
turn.
there you are. No, right there. Just look straight at the camera. Do you feel, guys, you can see this. You can see this on your screens. Do you think this is a fair representation? Right there. Do you think that's a fair representation, Brad? Do you think it's a fair representation, Luke? What do you think?
Looks like it to me.
I think the eyebrows need to be a little stronger.
Dude,
honestly.
that maybe you can help me with that.
Yeah, you're a little bit more Modigliani. You know what I'm saying?
Modigliani. Get a little Greek in there?
Yeah, do you know who Modigliani is?
No. I know who Yanni is.
No, he's the long-faced artist. I don't know if he was a Renaissance guy or if he was 1800. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. But Modigliani, he's one of the masters that came out of Italy, I believe it was, and he always painted with long faces. Mm. And so you could always tell the paintings because he elongated faces. Yeah. So you're I think in real life you kind of got like a more slender, longer face. This one's a little bit like this guy looks shorter. This guy looks shorter
Dude,
than you are.
You know? I was saying, before we went on, I need to hang out with you more because it makes me stand up straight. He's
yeah.
Cardin's legitimately like 6'5", so when I gotta stand up to be as tall as him when he's around, and he has a giant dog too. You guys see that thing?
Yes.
That moose?
Dude's got he's got a pony, running around in his house.
Yeah, dude, I got to protect from the anti-Mormons that would do me harm.
Yeah, I just have a little Weimaraner,
Don't say that. You need to talk about the 3 Rottweilers you got, dude.
Well, I'm going to get a pride of Weimaraners, take them up to the ranch and have them hunt like wolves.
Dude, that's funny. That's
We'll
funny.
do that.
So, anyway, the really fast here. I just thought this could be kind of. Do you guys have any questions you want to ask before we dive into these? I was going to say this is something interesting. That I thought would be a kind of a fun conversation topic here. I find out this week you're coming down, and you're kind of known as a conservative on Twitter, right?
Sure.
Sorry, X.com. But there's been a lot of hullabaloo about, left versus right, progmos versus conservative people. And frankly, at this point, I don't know which is holding back the church more. These progmos or these like freaking annoying conservative members that are trying so desperately to be Protestants. You know what I'm saying? That they forget we're members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's like the Protestants hated us and murdered us and canceled us in the 1800s. You know what I'm saying? The woke scolds want to cancel us in the 1900s, the early 2000s. It's just like choose your political persuasion and your century, right? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we're really for real like 175 years away from where it was legal to kill us, where there was an extermination order placed on us, where we were driven from place to place. I think the stuff that we argue about a lot of times now is
I don't know. I
it's
think
pretty trivial
it
stuff.
Might be illegal now, bro, but if you got shot in the streets of Salt Lake City, there might be enough woke scolds that hate you. They would jury on all that cheese.
Yes, dude, they would.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, like, a lot of the things that we argue about, they are important, but they aren't as important as being a member of the faith. It's okay sometimes to be a part of a tribe. It's okay to be, I don't want to use the word proud or pride, in dealing with who you are, but it's okay to have the dignity of, your culture, of your community, of your, whoever you feel like you represent. Everyone's just banging at each other's throats all the time. Why? Mm-hmm. There are real enemies out there that really do hate us. Why are we beefing with each other about such trivial
Well,
things?
so this was what I was going to ask you. Is you're kind of known as a conservative guy on Twitter, but you seem very dedicated to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you know? And I do believe that there is an Overton window that has different wings on it. Like over here's my boy, Jim Bennett. He's my boy, and he's kind of like the one that...
Tell him to unblock me, dude.
Okay. He always tells me, like, life's too short.
Unblocked me.
Bro, I've never seen a single tweet of his.
People can change, and I've done a lot of talking with my boy Jim, and he's a forgiving guy. We let him cool off. We have
dude, I bet I would get along with Jim Bennett in real life.
I'm sure
I bet we'd beef a little bit, but I bet I'd give him a big hug in the end too.
I'm so sure you would, and like that. This is what I've always told people. I've said, you know what? Like over here on the left is my boy Jim Bennett. And he's kind of like where he's the last one where I think like if you go further than that, you're no longer Mo Prog, you're Prog Mo, you know what I'm saying? And that's the left border of my Overton window, right? And then over here is like Lego Joseph Smith. You know what I'm saying?
My boy Lego.
On the
good
right.
Man.
Good
man.
The right. You know, I'm like, yeah, once you get past
we
that.
got to get the two of you together.
You
on
bet,
the live
dude.
stream.
I'd love to do that.
That's what we need to do.
If he'd be down.
That'd be so
I'm not
fun
even
to
going
have
to say
him on.
his name out loud, but yeah, Lego. You know me,
yeah.
dude. Look me up.
So here's my question. So both these guys I trust. I believe that at the end, should we all be able to come and reason together? The guys like Jim Bennett would be friends with guys like Lego Joseph Smith, because with enough talk and enough discourse, with a mutual admiration for Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior, and respect for Joseph Smith and the church and so on and so forth, that these guys would ultimately be like, yeah, we disagree on a lot, but we are on the quote same team.
Yeah.
Like I think that's same team, right?
Here's my attitude on it. I'm always down to talk heat. I'm always down to talk trash. I'm always down to meme you, make fun of you, speak even rude or condescending things. But there are lines I will not cross. And even my enemies, sometimes my enemies are secretly my biggest fans. You know, they're the people that focus the very most on me, and that's fine. Look, there's a lot more that we actually agree on than the things that we disagree on. And look, why are we doing this? We have enemies coming out the wazoo, you know, from culture, from religion, from, politics. Most of us agree on 90% of the same stuff. You know, why all this separation and why all this anger for trivial things?
Because of dicks like you on X.com.
Yes,
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes,
totally kidding.
That's true. But
See, I think that this is one of the things where we just need to lead with. I actually really appreciate what you have as your Twitter bio right now, because I think we need to lead with being peacemakers, right?
I just need to do a little
as
better.
we strive
I need to be like Brad.
Peacemakers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just Canadian. I'm trying to do better too.
You're representing. You're representing the Canucks pretty well, dude.
Thank you. I honestly think there are times where I err too far on the side of either mercy or permissiveness.
Yeah.
I think that's the error of mercy, is becoming permissive.
Yeah.
And so I think that we're maybe on different ends of the spectrum on where we mess up on attempting to be peacemakers.
Yeah.
And that's just part of the process as we grow towards being more like Jesus Christ. And that's the thing that I think is cool about, if we are going to decide that we're going to be a Zion people, right? We need to be of one heart and one mind, right? And I think that means having a shared vision and goal, and having a shared desire to become like Jesus Christ.
Right.
And so I think if we lead with that, that'll get over all of our political divisions that they don't matter that much, you know? And there's
and you know what? Even if you do disagree politically, that's fine. It's actually important that we do that. But
it's not what
normally men do is they will go and engage in pugilism. They will go into a boxing ring and they will fight and they will punch each other in the face and they'll break each other's ribs. And when the match is over, you'll walk up and you'll give them a hug and say, "Good fight. You know, you won, or I won, or you lost, or I lost, and you know, we don't drink, but let's go get a root beer." You know. That's how it should be.
That was the most Utah thing I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, look, I don't know who's going to see this. I don't want people out thinking I'm doing that, but metaphorically speaking, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to have banter. It's okay to have fun. I promise you that, well, to the best of my ability to tell you, I'm sure Joseph Smith was rowdy sometimes. I bet he,
he was.
He wasn't. He was way cooler than we make him look. Let's say that.
Yeah, he was.
I love Joseph, and I bet Joseph he'd probably be talking some smack on Twitter. Probably when it comes from a prophet instead of just some idiot like me.
Well,
he'd be calling some
honestly,
people under repentance.
Like Jesus might be too.
Yeah.
Like he might be talking some trash on Twitter if he went on there. The aspect of if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
He automatically wins every argument. But I mean, he certainly did in the New Testament, in the Gospels.
Some non-Brad words to say.
Yeah.
Some of the time.
So I got an interesting question
I don't know,
for you,
Luke.
here.
I feel like you haven't actually had enough conversations with me to make that assessment, and I don't think that
I do take this back. I take it back because I was with you on, was it the Mike Winger episode or was it the Lynn Wilder episode?
Yes.
And I take it back.
I will call them a den of vipers all day.
Right? Well, so hold on.
And I stand corrected.
I got a little convo just frame here, just a small little question that I'll ask of all of you guys. I've always loved the everybody thinks like Dallin A. Jokes is some kind of right-wing firebrand because he used to be a judge, which must mean he's conservative, and so on and so forth, Yeah, like he gave the most milquetoast religious freedom speech out there to defend his boy Dieter Uchtdorf. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In 2 conferences ago. But I love a comment. One of my favorite comments from an apostle comes from Dallin A. Jokes, and I think it's germane to our conversation and your presence on the show right now. He says, I find some wisdom in conservatism, and I find some wisdom in liberalism, but I find salvation in neither. So I'm curious, as a guy, as a guy who's a member of the church, kind of you seem to have expressed this ecumenical attitude of saying, hey, religious affiliation over political affiliation first, which I think is the difference between a Mo-Prog and a Prog-Mo, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or freaking silly Desnat versus a Conmo. Was that what we call conservative members? I don't know. A Conmo? That just seems like mean to call somebody a con man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes me sound horrible.
Yeah, it makes you sound
you're like one letter short of being a con man.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a difference though. So what would you say you think some of the, if you're, a great defensor of the gospel and so on and so forth, what are the gospel values that you see are conservative, and which ones do you see as a conservative that are actually liberal? Because I think it's kind of interesting. Whenever Mormons want to say I'm actually really conservative, I always say, shut up. No, you're not. And they're like, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? And why do you think you're conservative? And they usually spout a couple of social things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say, okay, in the modern landscape, okay, that's pretty social. But bro, you give 10% of your income more dutifully to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints than you give to the U.S. government.
I wish the U.S. government only took 10%. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but think about that.
Nice.
Think how wildly, okay, you might be socially conservative, but fiscally, the average active member of the church is wildly liberal with their time.
I've got to push back on this, Cardin.
You don't think so?
Push back on this.
Okay.
Jonathan Haidt. He came up with kind of 5 morals that people have, and he found that on average, liberals are high in 2 of them. They're high in
empathy,
in fairness, and I forget what the other one was.
Empathy.
Your morals foundations. Yeah. Conservatives were high in areas that a lot of liberals weren't, and one of those was authority, and the other was sanctity. And so actually you pointing out that members of the church that say they're conservative have a lot of loyalty to the church structure actually demonstrates that they are in fact conservative.
No, I'm talking about giving your money away.
I'm like this.
Yeah. He's saying fiscally conservative. That's not a
conservative thing. Republicans give more to charity than Democrats do.
By far. Significantly
unless
more.
Conservatives aren't conservatives, and it's not an argument that you can make. So I just push back on that.
Luke's 100% right. Objectively speaking, it is scientifically proven that conservatives donate far more to charity. and their time than people on the left.
Dude, wasn't that hilarious on Oprah? When Oprah got up and she was talking with all these single ladies, and she was like, well, the state that has the highest amount of donations from young single men is the state of Utah. So ladies, if you want a charitable person, you should go to Utah.
I've
like
never
that.
watched Oprah, but I bet that
haven't
was
seen
awesome.
that.
Dude, it was the most freaking hilarious thing. And I was like, I don't like. I think some of those yes, the church is a 501c3, and your tithing technically is charitable donation in the tax code and stuff like that. But I think like the dutiful Mormon boys in Provo don't exactly count as wildly philanthropic. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, yes, it is a sacrifice. Yes, the church does good things with the money, right? But like, I think you have to understand some context here, Oprah. You know, before you start wildly recommending the average boy in Sandy as the numero uno to date and marry. So, which who knows though, that might be just a good recommendation. So it'll help our birth rate, I'm sure. So,
we always need help in that area.
yeah.
Have more kids, guys.
So Brad, Luke,
Yes.
make us look intelligent. Read us some super chats. You know,
We've got a couple.
Yeah.
So we got to welcome Jared Rodriguez. Everyone, we've received his records. Please give him a W in the chat.
Jared Rodriguez.
Jared
Okay,
Rodriguez.
cool.
Jared Rodriguez.
Bienvenidos.
Okay.
And then
It's like
up next,
Fight
we got Torvix Aus. And he's saying, talk about the Cybertruck and cyclist event.
Dude, they're
That
like,
is-
That is a rough one.
that's funny.
Super chat request.
Oh well, you know, I'm happy. We don't need to show it. I'm happy to get out of the way. It's not my best moment.
Didn't a cyclist just spit on your car and you started swearing at him and it
Okay,
got caught
I
on
was
camera?
having a rough day. I was going in. I was not feeling good. I was going into work and I actually got detoured. They're doing traffic like in the neighborhood, so I get detoured. I live in the avenues. I go downhill. I'm going like 6 miles an hour. My window's open. I'm just listening to a book on Audible, and some
So far, so good.
some clown cyclists, you know, come up like within 18 inches of me because I'm just going really slow around the corner. And some, blank Elon, enjoy your recalls, giggle laughing. And I'm just a guy that just isn't down with that, just like talking smack to people for no reason. So I back it up. And I said, I started yelling at him. But I wasn't super heated this time, but, I was like, what's wrong with you? What are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we're sorry, we're just being dumb kids. The dude had like it looked like Mario, mustache like this.
Shut up, really?
For real. Yeah, 100%. Like the dudes are in their 20s.
Mario stash, that's cool.
Yeah, and the other one is just, kind of a blonde, dirty blonde kid. His hair color was dirty blonde.
Oh, I was like, wait, like physically
So I'm
covered in dirt.
So I think we we had settled it, and they start driving off, and the guy with the dirty blonde hair starts giggling like one of the teen villains from Karate Kid 2. The other guy spits, and it wasn't that they spit on my vehicle; it was that we had kind of ended it. We had a conversation, and it was over, and they decided now we're going to extend it. So they take off and they start going horizontally along 11th Ave, and I haul butt because I'm in a car that can move pretty quickly. I get all the way around the block, and then that's where he starts filming me. So,
Is this like something you're never going to live down or what?
probably not. So all I can do is
okay.
own it. I mean, literally, whenever like I talk to anybody, like, well, what else can I do? I just got to own it. There's a video of it. All I can do is put it in context and say, probably not my best moment.
There is video of me running naked through the White House, and you are literally like
What?
getting run down for like some
If that's true, that it's something that I got to see.
yeah, dude.
Cardin, why? Why?
Just like, oh, you never saw that?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, like it's
So I went off on him. I said something like, "I'm gonna rip your head off, spit down your throat," something along those lines.
Oh, that escalated quickly.
I was mad, dude. But it was like, but I also felt like it was fair because it was like 2-on-1. There's two of them. There's one of me.
Well, they are two bikers and cyclists, so it
But
kinda
that's
does take
true,
two.
and they're in their spandex and whatever. But I obviously should have just kept driving. That would have been the best case scenario. But then, if you watch when he goes, "We're just dumb kids," I stopped talking. I'm like, I'm being filmed. And as I start to drive off, I just said, "Dude, someday you're gonna run into the wrong dude, and you're gonna say the wrong thing, something to that effect."
And
I
that,
drove off.
That really bugs me when people, when they see that someone's getting a reaction and then they start filming it and decide that they're going to put it online in order to...
And I knew what happened right then. Yeah. And you see me stop talking. I'm mad. I'm getting like hysterical. And then they say that. I'm like, oh, I see. Because they're not kids, you know. I can see clearly what the plan was. So
because we can't see them in the video. All we can see is you in your truck, and that's it.
And that's it. This is a fat nothing burger. I wanted something cool. Like I got out and I beat him with the charging cord for my freaking Tesla Cybertruck until he had like freaking TBI.
Well, let me tell you about.
And now I got sued.
Let me tell you about the Cybertruck.
Universal Cyclist Association.
Everyone loves to talk about how much they hate the Cybertruck. It's my favorite thing I've had since my Nintendo in 1989.
Yeah, dude, that's cool. What's it like?
Dude, it is a Tesla as a truck with 4-wheel steering and is bulletproof. I need it to be bulletproof to protect me from my enemies. I'm just going to slink down and get below the glass if they start shooting at me. So it'll do 0 to 60 in like 2.6 seconds. So it'll beat like a Porsche 911.
Shut up, really?
Tow 11,000 pounds. And it looks weird because it's made out of stainless steel. It has to be made. It has to fold. You know, you can't put stainless steel on a stamp. You know, so nothing can be round on it. That's why it's just bent. It's like origami. That's why it looks so weird.
Okay.
But it has a bigger bed than like a Ford F-150. I use it for actual truck stuff all the time. Load drywall into it and put my tools in it and things like that as I go around to properties or I'm working.
Do you like haul around your ego in it and stuff like that?
Yeah, I need that.
No,
I do. Like, I think it'll hold 3,500 pounds. So I mean, I should be in good shape there unless my head gets any bigger. But
dude, I was on the list for the Cybertruck like when it first came out and they announced it would only be like $45,000 or whatever. But then it was like postponed for like 2 or 3 years, and I think you could get like a refund or whatever because it was like only $100 or something.
It's like the stuff they put in there. Nobody understands. So it went from like a 12-volt architecture that all cars have. You know, your 12-volt battery. That's 48-volt low voltage, and it uses Ethernet cables to power everything in the car because the voltage is so low. He actually, Elon Musk actually took a book, How to Build Your Car with 48-volt Architecture, and he had it shipped to every single car manufacturer in the world, trying to encourage them to do it. It's steer by wire, so the steering wheel is literally a joystick. You could just replace it with a video game joystick. There's no connection. It's the only car in the world that has no connection to a steering column. All 4 wheels turn. You know, it turns in parking lots like a compact car. When you're going on the freeway and you turn, you glide because all 4 wheels turn. You know, into the next lane. It's super cool. And when people hate it, good. You know, it doesn't make me like it any less. It's awesome. I love that thing. So,
dude, well, so do I get to go out like in a spin with you? Like,
dude, if you come to Salt Lake, I will let you drive it. I will let you stomp on it. I'll let you. We'll go up to the ranch. We'll see
so be honest. Be honest. Have you ever like drag raced at midnight on like I don't know what are all the streets in Salt Lake City? Fifth West.
This is something I've told my wife. She's like, you don't need to race everybody at the light. I said, it's always a race. It's always a race.
That's cool, dude. That's way cool,
That's
man.
Funny.
So,
okay, we got another super chat here.
Let's hit it.
We got level 9. Searched on YouTube to ID a termite problem at work, and a random video I clicked was Carden freaking Ellis.
Yeah,
what are the chances? Great termite vid.
Yeah, I made some funny ones like 5 or 6 years ago, bro. They were good stuff. Good stuff,
nice.
Dude, I'm impressed with Carden. Carden's a hard worker. I'm sitting here talking to him. This is the first time we've met face to face. He works hard, dude. He really does. For anyone that's behind the scenes, you know, it will never be behind the scenes. He works hard.
Thank you.
100%.
Don't stop. I'm going to raise your volume.
And dude, your wife came in and they gave me a sandwich.
Yeah, dude.
It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
dude, that's awesome. Sweet. Yeah, she's pretty cool like that.
Yeah.
And
shout
it
out
doesn't
to
hurt.
Brittany.
Doesn't hurt when you got free gift certificates, Firehouse subs. But you know what I'm saying? Like, rock on.
Well, it was good.
All the feminists are like, she made him a sandwich. That's patriarchy.
That
you know?
Which is awesome. Like.
Okay, so keep going with the super chats. Brad, hit it up, bro.
Next up, we got Latter Day Chad. He says, reaction video. You guys should watch and react to this video. He wants us to do a reaction video to Native American Navajo Ceremony Insights by Navajo Traditional Teachings. Spoilers, it's the endowment lodge ritual.
What's it called? Native American...
And then in parentheses, Navajo Ceremony Insights.
Navajo Ceremony Insights, YouTube. And, here it is. Oh, I've seen this cat. I've seen this cat.
All right, now let's head down to
it's a commercial. Ain't going to give no free commercial to anybody here. But yeah, we'll just choose a random clip from Middleist. It's on YouTube, so, they've already approved it, I guess. Oh, yeah, this guy's interesting. He, says there are no Navajo or current... He said something about how, there are no current descendants of the original tribe, that it's like a secondary migration or something. Yeah, and there's a lot of really interesting genetic study that's going into the American Indians right now that basically, don't quote me on this.
They love this. Yeah.
But apparently they've studied a lot of the genetic migrations of modern American Indians, and it looks like there was 2 migrations. One far more recent, thousands of years more recent than the original tribes that were here. It looks like that most of the genetic information is from the second migration having replaced the first. And so, it's really interesting when you start, studying the genetic migrations in America. Yes, you find famously the Austro-Melanesian DNA in Central America. Why is Australian DNA, Aboriginal DNA, just straight up in the middle of, Peru? And also, where do the First Nations actually come from? And you start studying haplogroup whatever with genetic marker whatever, and you come up with some really interesting discoveries. And this guy made a video on that. I recognize him from one of those videos. So here, well, pick a number between 1 and 959. So pick a number between 1 and 10. Dr. Manhattva.
4.
4? Okay, hold on.
Good.
4.
I was actually going to say 7 because I always see 7. It's the only number with 2 syllables.
Well, then we're going to go to 4.
Looks like 230 is pretty good.
Oh, 230? Well, I was going to go to 447, but I guess we'll go to 230.
Speed reading the transcript right now.
Okay, so let's see what he's got to say.
Luke.
Let's see what he's got to say.
Would be the mother or the father, and then they may let you in. But it was in the past that when you were asked, who are you? If you did not have a name in that, then you would give who you were descendant of, and that would be who you would be recognized as when you go into the ceremony. But there were times also when ceremonies were being conducted, there was only the relatives in that of the patient. If you were related to them in some way, then they would allow you to enter. But if you were not related, then sometimes they would not let you in.
Oh, wow. Look at that. And they got all the drawings
cool.
on the ground. Look, I got to tell you, if you look like this,
you're wise
you
automatically.
can just say anything.
Yeah.
You can literally just say anything. And this is the British hero of the North American continent. Okay, I'll explain to you what that means. My beloved AP physics teacher in high school was a man by the name of Martin Kirby. And he had this very beautiful and distinguished English accent. And he said, I love Hollywood. And I won't even do his accent because I suck at accents. But he said, I love Hollywood. And the reason why I love Hollywood is because all the guys with my accent in Hollywood are always your heroes, your professors, your smart guys. Whenever Hollywood wants to make somebody honorable, kind, benevolent, gentlemanly, they give them my accent. And the only time there's a bad guy with my accent is when there's a better guy with my same accent going after the bad guy with my accent. There's never just a bad Englishman in the movie without being a good Englishman. So really, you guys, you've blown me up better than I ever could in a million years. It's so easy to get dates in America. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Cardin.
Yeah?
Sorry, I just wanted to say Latter-day Chad gave us another super chat to say go to 7:30 in the video.
Oh, so we should have gone to 7.
I was actually just reading through that right now.
I love Luke.
And it was pretty cool. I actually like 8 better looking at the transcript here. He says that one day we will expire from this life. We will encounter that covering. He's talking about like the covering to the temple or the sweat lodge that they go into for this ceremony. It represents the covering over our minds. that prevents us from seeing the people in the other world. So we will encounter that covering, and we have to give our name and to tell them who they are when they ask us, so that the ceremonial name that you give or are given is something that you don't share with other people, only in a ceremonial setting.
Rad.
And that is, your wife may know your ceremonial name, and it's important to have that ceremonial name and never be able to divulge
Okay,
that to
dude, we got it.
anybody.
Where is
That's
that?
awesome.
At 7 minutes and 30
7:30.
seconds?
Start at 7:30.
Yeah, he said
Get
7:30.
stuff
What
at
I
8.
was reading was from 8.
Okay, well, we'll listen to it just for a second. And I was just going to say that this guy right here, dude, he's like the British man of the North American continent. If, dude, you got that shirt with that necklace, that bandana, that great just, sun-kissed just disposition with that cool, what is that, rod? And I don't know what that is. Like, whatever it is, and that blanket behind you, you are just automatically cool. You're just automatically smart, wise.
Automatically boss.
You're just automatically boss right there. You win. You win. So anyway, Native American Navajo ceremony insights starting at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Go.
In preparation for existence in the fourth world. After the fourth world, there are other things that we have to learn and experience. And so it is that everything in this life is based on a sacred number 4. And the teaching about the covering, I wish that people would understand that that is important to know, that Batadan is what they call it. And the teaching is very important to understand that there is a reason why the ceremonial Hogan has that blanket over the entryway, Dadan Ban, which is that our minds are covered so we can't see the holy people. But one day when we expire from this life, we will encounter that covering.
Dude, our minds are covered so we cannot see the holy people, but we pass through this life. They are uncovered. Bruh!
Dude.
This
that's
guy's
very
After
cool.
you give an accounting that involves the name that's connected to your ancestors that you're not supposed to tell other people.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This is really cool, but at the same time, it's actually not that unique. These type of ideas exist in so many different cultures. Like Greg Mattson just had on Bruce Porter, who was talking about this same type of idea happening in Egypt. And so when people say, oh, the endowment is like so weird and it's Masonic and he got it from the people that are around him, and I'm just going to flaunt it and tell everybody about it and show the footage that I took from it and make little mugs that have the things that we're not supposed to say on the temple printed on them. You're not mocking just the Latter-day Saint faith. You're mocking generations and cross-culturally. The whole thing. You're mocking almost every important religious ceremony
and there are so
spanning across human civilization.
There are so few things now that are sacred still, like to this day.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they seem to really get a thrill. A lot of people who really don't like us, they seem to get a real thrill by defacing things that are sacred. So,
Dude, one of the things oh, sorry, Brad, go.
Oh, I was just going to say, every time that people start making fun of the endowment as though it's just a copy paste of Freemasonry and that's all it is.
yeah.
I just want to say, get good.
Yeah.
Do some actual
What's
study.
the point of even arguing with them? They don't even know what they're talking about. It's
They're
as
so
dumb as Solomon Spaulding. It's as dumb as, these nonsensical weirdo.
Well, sometimes it's because they're uneducated, right?
Most of
I
the
try
time.
to do what I can to see if I can share stuff with them to see if they will
Let's
change
see,
their minds. when they hear it.
I'll share it with them, but I'll be rude about it.
See, I want to share it with them in a way that they might actually.
That's why I
say,
need to be more like Brad Whitbeck.
Yeah, that's funny.
I do place 90% of the blame on the people who make money off of informing people
There's a problem
about the Mormon church.
There's a
whether
problem
it
with the
comes from your exmo
monetization
crowd
of
or whether
exmos.
it comes from your anti-cult pastor crowd.
like Lynn Wilder.
Yep, they all make a living by being, we all know who the king is. And
Dude, the
that's
financial
the worst.
incentives of ex-Mormon and anti-Mormonism is so wild to me. And I'm actually kind of disappointed, honestly, in my fellow Americans, because one of the things I've wanted to do for a while, and now I've actually got a face for this project. What I was lacking before was a face. I'm going to go down to Hollywood and Vine just with an iPad with some pictures of this guy. And I'm going to say, look, I got a question for you. This tribe right here, they have a sacred ritual inside of a temple in which you get a secondary name you're not supposed to divulge to anybody. And they do X, they do Y, they do Z. Do you think it should be considered a hate crime when, people go out and they take videos of this sacred ordinance and they post it on YouTube? Oh my gosh. Every person on Hollywood Vines would be like, oh yeah, convict them. Oh yeah, oh no, that video should get taken down. Oh yeah, they would cry censorship from the rooftops. You know what I'm saying? Like you could get an ACLU lawyer.
My biggest grievance is that we don't defend ourselves. That's my biggest grievance. It's and that's maybe that's
what
why.
Do you mean? What do you mean we don't defend ourselves?
Well, I mean that it's good to be nice. It is. It's important to be nice, but being nice is not a saving ordinance. And I think that a lot of saints are very concerned about offending people, and I understand that. And it's easier in life to get along with everybody when you're being nice. But the truth is far more important than being nice. I think that truth suffers when truth suffers at the expense of nice is when it becomes a very serious problem. That we need to be nice, but we also need to tell the truth.
And I would even suggest that being nice at the expense of truth is not actually being kind.
Yeah.
That's not actually being charitable.
Yeah.
This is when Christ tells us to love one another as he loved us. He wants us to have this commitment to the truth, to deliver it in as kind a way as we can, but we can't confuse kindness and niceness, I think.
Yeah.
And that's the easy thing on my side of things, where I can be too nice sometimes on trying to be
it's good to
agreeable.
It's good to be Brad Whitbeck, okay? Like, it really is. Brad Whitbeck is a good man. And
yeah, you're always invited on the live streams. Ben isn't.
Okay, you're a good man. I need to be a little more like you, more than you need to be like me.
A little more, Yeah, I need to be a little more like you.
But
I find something in the middle.
Yeah, find something.
Well, so here's my question though:
medium.
is like, what is the future you think of niceness culture? Because like that's what we're in the middle of right now. Like, you can defend the church in a way that might offend somebody that hates the church, and according to many members of our church right now that worship the ball of niceness culture, you're the baddie. You know what I'm saying? You're the baddie because you disrupted the flow. You rocked the boat. You said something that was controversial. Like it's unsustainable because our enemies have figured out if you can manipulate niceness culture and if you can leverage niceness culture against these cats, well, then you win because we're allowed to rock the boat and it's edgy. But the second they fight back, well, then no, they're not Christ-like because to them, Christ is nice, not kind. So like it's unsustainable. And all of our enemies, they all leverage the exact same thing. But it's got to turn around. Do you see a turnaround coming? Do you think there's going to be a correction? Do you think we're just doomed to forever fizzle under the weight of our own niceness culture in North America, but thrive in other places where it doesn't thrive? What do you see?
I think you just need to try to be like Christ. Christ was perfect. He was always kind, but there were times where he fashioned a whip as well. There are times where wickedness abounds, and he would cast out demons. And he would tell them, "Be gone," and he would heal people. He was literally. We need to just try to be like Christ.
Okay, yeah, but so what's the rubric though? Because here's what's the rubric.
The rubric is truth. That truth.
Okay, because here's the deal. All of the Mo progs, you know what I'm saying? They're saying, "Look, I'm espousing and being an activist for my progressive ideals in the name of Jesus."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because love is love, and we got to be kind, we got to be Christ-like, and so on and so forth. Meanwhile, there's all the conservatives on Twitter fighting back and dunking on them. You know what I'm saying?
One of my memes,
in the name of Jesus' whips.
Yeah, one of my favorite memes, though, is just, and maybe it's unfair to a lot of people that are on the left, of just, they have the Bible all scribbled out with a Sharpie, except for, thou shalt not judge. That's the only thing that they haven't X'd out.
Yeah. And that's a hard thing because ultimately that scripture itself says, "Judge not unrighteously."
Right.
Right.
Especially the Joe Smith translation. It's exactly right.
Yeah. And so when it comes down to it, it's a very difficult thing because we are dealing with one another and we don't know one another's hearts. And what I have found myself doing is I will interact with some people who are saying things so similar to people who I've interacted with before, who did show like some kind of animosity or hatred to me, that I then just project that onto the other person when it might not be there, you know? And so I think that if we can get better at dealing with people as individuals and recognizing them as fellow children of God, that's the key to starting in a charitable foot, right?
Yeah.
With these people that we're interacting with.
Yeah, I think that's
because when we let it get cut down lines of like, oh, they're liberal, they're conservative, then we just start attacking each other's talking points. We never actually communicate with each other. We talk past one another.
Well,
so
but like I said, even if the people you disagree with, like you can be friends with Protestants, Catholics, Orthodox people, but you got to have that attitude that once you leave the ring, that you're friends again. I think that's a critically important portion of this. Is it's okay to disagree, and it's okay for you to try to present your opinion using logic and reason. And if you disagree and you don't come to a meeting of the minds, you move on and you put your arm around them and say, let's go get some food. You still love them. You still want to be friends with them.
I love how Proverbs puts it. It says that iron sharpeneth iron.
Yeah, exactly.
So a man improves his friend. That's not the exact wording, but it's close. In Proverbs 17, I think that's the way that we need to approach it, because sometimes when iron is sharpening iron, sparks fly. You know, like there's
heat,
a little bit going on.
There's heat, there's fire,
you're actually shaving off pieces of the iron,
Yep.
And so
I think it's important to do that, especially among men. I think it's important for men to do that. I don't speak for women, obviously, but men need to have that back and forth. Men need to have that, we talk smack to each other, and that's kind of what we do.
And I like what you said about like then go out for burgers or whatever after, because that to me sounds like D&C 121, where it's, hey, reprove betimes with sharpness, then after showing an increase of love, lest he esteem you to be his enemy, right? And so
I love you, Brad. I do vote for you for next
man.
apostle. Okay,
dude, I'm just waiting for this burger. You can say whatever cruel thing you want to me for less than 15 minutes if the burger's good enough.
You already fed me.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. So,
Brad,
no,
I will say, with this idea, I don't think sharpness is something that's like aggressiveness or incisiveness. I think it's with precision. Where it's something we need to get better in being more precise, because we're all going to make mistakes and we're going to flounder through this. But if our mistake can be in being imprecise in our language instead of in hating our neighbor, then we're in a better spot, I think. And so, I think as we muddle forward, that's the way to do it.
I'm just reading through my Twitter comments right now from my people, and I think there's a lot of agreement in this.
Oh,
Travis,
sick.
BLDS.
Cool. I see
and my little daughter Nina. She said, talk about your little daughter Nina and how great she is.
Yo, word up, little daughter
that's
Nina.
awesome, dude.
Hey, what size shirt is little daughter Nina?
Little daughter Nina. I don't know about this.
We'll give her a WardRadio shirt.
Yeah.
We got the girls' shirts behind you on the merch table. Oh, speaking of which, hold on, I got a chance now for a shameless plug. If you guys want a cool Father's Day gift, just check out the WardRadio website, and you guys can get a hat. There's what the girl shirts look like. Or, right there. Boom. You look like a rapper getting ready to start a music video. Yeah, it's freaking sick, man. So as Brad's just pulling up the next Super Chats to read the Super Chats, just a couple of quick questions. This one came to mind, bro. Who's your favorite person in Mormonism, dude? Who's your favorite person and why? Just tell us why, It doesn't have to be me. I know that's what you were thinking. And it doesn't have to be Brad. I don't want his ego getting big. I like humble Brad, not big ego Brad.
Like,
I need to keep it
currently in the church, you mean?
Yeah. Who's your favorite person in the economy of thought and culture in the Church of Jesus Christ?
Tough.
Why is it Harry Reid?
Yeah,
that he is no longer with us, but I think of him every time I go to the Vegas airport.
Oh, dude, Harry Reid is up there for me. I know he advocated for some straight up evil stuff, but he did it like a gangsta.
He was.
He did it like an absolute gangsta.
He did.
And if we had benevolent gangsters, as gangster as Harry Reid was gangster, the world, it would be Machiavelli's benevolent dictator, dude.
If Mitt were as gangster as Harry Reid, we'd have a very different story to sing today. So, who's my favorite? I truthfully, I'm not just saying this. I like tuning into this channel to WardRadio and just hearing a lot of diverse, different opinions on it. I listen to Connor Boyak's Sunday Musings, I think he calls it.
Yeah,
and he has different perspectives, and I don't necessarily agree with all of it, but he's very well read. Obviously, we've got the apostles. I gave a talk on Sunday that we live in the best time in human history ever. We wouldn't trade places with John D. Rockefeller, the richest man that ever lived.
He didn't have a microwave.
Dude, he didn't ever experience air conditioning. Okay, they didn't have modern dentistry. This is just like 120 years ago.
Yeah.
Today he'd be worth about $700 billion, and the poorest among us wouldn't trade places with John D. Rockefeller.
Did they even have antibiotics back then?
No. Well, was that penicillin, I think, was the first one. It was developed, during World War II, I think. So no,
it was developed before World War I, and that's why World War I was the first war where less people died of. Less people died of infection than war wounds. And but basically the past 150 years.
But
yes.
I mean, we what I was saying about that is we have in our pockets. I can literally look up any bit of scripture. Just a couple hundred years ago, if you wanted to have access to this, like a family might have had a Bible, and it was the family's Bible, and that was like your go-to. It'd be on the shelf or on the mantle in an important place. And now we have volumes of scripture that most people have no understanding of, just sitting in our pockets.
So who's your favorite liberal?
My favorite liberal. I actually, what? I have a woman I follow on Twitter. Her name's Midegah. I bet she watches this. She's like, the opposite of me politically. I love her. She's, pro Palestine, BLM, everything that's not my jam. But if someone's picking a fight with me, she'll just pop in, have my back, and I'll do the same for her. She's there.
So you'd show up for her court of love if they were trying to excommunicate her and say it's
not
yet. Let's dial it back, guys. Let's dial it back.
I'd have her back. There are a lot of people like that on Twitter that run the entire gamut, socially and politically and religiously. It's weird. Twitter's such a weird place. I can talk to United States senators, have great relationships with them. I can talk to
names. I want names. Names and endorsements.
I will. I'm not going to talk about any of the personal conversations I've had with many people.
Okay, I'll keep it
down.
down.
Pillow talk is sacred.
I always. You know what is cool? I hope I'm not divulging too much, but we had a senator go down to the re-election of Bukele down there in El Salvador. You guys know who Bukele is?
He's the president that's going gangsta on MS-13, right?
It's awesome. Yeah, he's through all of MS-13 in prison.
We all love authoritarians when they're on our side.
Totally, right?
I don't know anything about this guy.
He's not like Pinochet. He's not dropping people from helicopters, but the guy does not mess around. He likes Bitcoin too, which is cool. But he
so he's the Bitcoin dictator.
Dude, he's literally running Bitcoin miners using power from their volcanoes. He's for real.
That is awesome.
Their country buys 1 Bitcoin every single day. That's part of their national reserve, and it is considered legal currency along with the U.S. dollar. So, very cool place, very progressive. My kind of progressive on there, and the senator was down there.
Yes, but
and he's snapping pictures.
Is he vegan though? Because that's the real mark.
Certainly not.
Oh, okay.
And he did a snapshot, and he said, "Are you down there with Bukele?" And I look around, and there's famous people. I won't mention their names, but I said, if you see Bukele, will you show him when he retweeted my tweet? I said, based Bukele. And I sent him a screenshot of it. And it's a weird world. I have presidents of nations that are looking and laughing at my tweets and having conversations with United States senators about it. It's Twitter's a wild place. And then I'll just have a conversation with just this is something I get a lot of. I get a lot of people that say they're grateful for me being aggressive about defending the faith because our faith is the easiest to mock and it's also the hardest to dismiss. So with our faith, on the outside, it looks ridiculous, and it's easy to view the South Park version of us as though we're fools. We're just people that are smiling and nice, but dumber than a bag of hammers. But the people that really understand, there is nothing deeper. There is no deeper faith that exists on this earth. And I get DMs from people saying, a screenshot or a selfie of themselves in jeans and their best polo. I came back to church for the first time in like 9 years. I'll answer questions people that know nothing about the church that are investigating. They're reading the Book of Mormon. I don't know. It's just Twitter's a wild place, man. I spend way too much time on it, and now Elon pays me to do it, which is another weird thing. People.
He pays you? What does he pay you?
I paid me like $1,000 last month.
Is it kind of like the apostles that pay us?
I love that. People think that
It's not that much money, Cardi.
No. Elon pays me to tweet. That's what I try to pay people.
Technically, it's the presiding bishop, and the money is coming directly from
I literally
tithing.
had someone ask me last week if we were being funded by the church. People think you're serious sometimes.
I know. People do think that.
Stupid.
It's so dumb.
No,
as
it's
they call it, Brad.
It's like the Solomon Spaulding Captain Kidd inspired the Book of Mormon thing. It's like we've debunked that garbage so many times on this show that now I have no choice than to just run with it.
Just ride with it.
I have no choice but to just run with it. Yes, I am paid by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
He's lying.
In fact,
you are
I'm
bearing
paid
false witness
by checks that are written by Dieter Uchtdorf himself.
Dude,
okay.
And here's the reality. We actually pay. We actually pay to be members. Well, we pay our tithing. So
yeah.
I pay tithing on the money that Elon
After
gives me.
swearing allegiance to Joseph Smith, they just hand out checks in the top level of the Salt Lake Temple.
We're not going to get to $1 trillion giving out checks like that, dude.
Yeah, dude, for real. And so it's just like I have, frankly, the biggest check because I am the most covert. You know what I'm saying?
Look, another one of the arguments that I have is about the wealth of the church, and I love the hashtag make it a trillion, Like, I just can't wait until they make it $1 trillion because I want my faith to be strong and substantial and be able to help and do whatever they need to do. It's part of being a worldwide church and a worldwide organization, and I love nothing more. And when people, aren't you embarrassed about that? I'm like, bro, make it $1 trillion. I look forward to the day that it's $1 trillion. Look, another thing I found, when people are insulting you, when your enemies are trying to hurt you, lean into it. Like with that argument, are you embarrassed? No, actually, I think it's awesome. I want the church to succeed in every possible measure. I believe it is God's church on this earth. I believe that it has the authority and keys that have never existed all at once on this earth before, save it be for Christ and whatever keys he gave to the apostles. And it's awesome, and I want it to win in every way, and I can't wait till I get to $1 trillion.
All right, rock on, dude. That's cool.
And I know that the church PR department is not going to put out a press release.
I know they're not, but I am.
But I would love
That's why they don't pay me.
That would be so great.
Hey, wait,
No,
but
honestly,
dude,
the worst thing about how much money the church has is that they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Not that they should be bragging about it, but I honestly would like to know, is it the 160 billion some people say?
I almost like the mysteriousness of it.
No, guys, it already is $1 trillion.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, it already is $1 trillion. It's just the
They shorted
troglodytes.
GameStop again.
Yeah. The troglodytes haven't been able to pull out the calculator because they're too lazy.
Yeah.
All right. And then the second thing is we need to make this like a 90s rap music video. Like when I'm prophet/dictator, okay, then I'm going to literally say to become a general authority in the church, you have to be in, like, you know how the Scientologist did that music video, like in the 90s, that one super cringy, awesome Scientologist music video. That
I have
was
no
like
idea
on
what
MTV.
you're talking about.
No,
Oh, you don't
I
remember?
don't.
The Scientologist
No.
had an official. Oh, this is so
This
funny.
has got to be a California
This
thing.
is so funny. No,
Yeah,
look,
Garden, what is this?
look,
All right, so
Scientology
maybe we're like
music
way
video.
behind on super chats.
We're
Maybe
super
I
behind on
read
super
No,
one.
we will. Give it a
Maybe
second.
I read one or two
No,
while you
here
were
it
There
is.
are
stuff.
super
Here it
chats.
is. We stand tall with Ron Hubbard. And look, they made fun of it on
Oh, boy.
SNL. But this was like 90s awesome lore.
I have seen this. I've seen this before.
Yeah, dude, they made their. It's like a total
Yeah,
90s
I've seen that
music
before.
video.
But I think it was in some documentary.
Yeah, so we're gonna make our own 90s music video, but it's gonna be hip hop instead of like, you know, cringy pop. And all the apostles have to lay in a pool of our money. They have
I'm
to
sure
lay,
that would not go
like,
down
like
well.
the rappers that talk
Nope.
about how all the fat stacks they got and the ladies they got.
See,
We're
this
gonna be
is the difference.
Swimming in money.
This is what's important. This is why we're not paid by the church, is because we have ideas like this. Those men are dignified. They exude class, and they are intellectuals, and it is beneath them. But it's not beneath me. That's the whole point. Is
They're not Scrooge
Intellectuals?
McDuck.
exactly.
Okay.
And I will root for them, you know, and everything they do.
Yeah.
So
I want to see
Okay.
Uchtdorf literally parachuting out of the 747.
I could see that. That'd
he
be
is
awesome.
allowing to crash into the ocean loaded with dynamite just because we're so rich we could afford the 747. And then he's going to bathe in the floating pool of money talking about
But
how...
these men are far too dignified for these ideas.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay,
What-
so...
By the way, like Luke was saying, we need to get these super
Okay,
chats.
Yes.
go to it.
So Andy Young is in here vouching for Manhattva. Says,
Oh, thank you.
Manhattva and I have gotten into it on Ukraine issues, but the convo has always ended in respect. Also, prayers for the saints
Thanks,
in
brother.
Ukraine and Russia.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate that, man.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Next up, prodigal son Matt. Just for fun, where does the great Manhattva fall on the Heartland versus Meso versus Unified models of the
Yeah.
Book of Mormon?
Yeah. I know a lot. I don't know the answer to that. I think that I would like to say Heartland because Joseph Smith made it clear many times, you know, and he'd pick up the earth and say, you know, this happened, and you know, Zelf and all of that. But man, there's a lot of stuff in Central America too. And the answer is I don't know. But I know enough.
Kind of unified.
I know enough to
right?
know that I don't know.
Hey, Brad?
That's
it.
good. That's
What's
good.
the unified model exactly? If we were to, you know, kind of try and give the Reader's Digest version to the audience, I was asked that yesterday. How would you boil that down to 2 or 3 sentences?
So it's actually not a term I've heard. Luke, do you know this one?
Right. Yeah, I think the idea is that a lot of the stuff happens in the Meso area. Then when people move into the land northward, a lot of that is you don't have like
Okay.
definite distances when they go northward. And
Yeah.
so a lot of that gets pushed like way northward up into the Heartland area. And then of course Moroni does make the trek across.
Yeah. So it's
to
kind of in line.
Gomorrah.
Yeah.
It's maybe
I
somewhere
think
between
that's-
Mark Wright's idea of the Heartland as like the hinterland, right?
Yeah, Heartland
And the
as
core-
hinterland.
Yeah, the core happening down in like the Mesoamerica, Mexico area, and then things going northward later.
Dude, by
But
the way,
Brad,
I'm down with that.
Brad, I don't know if you've shared where you fall on this.
Dude.
I don't know if
I don't
that
know.
falls in the purview of the super chat.
He's Canadian, dude. He's
I
gonna be
just
Heartland.
realized that.
It's, you know,
I
it
believe
kind of
in
goes
the
over the
alliance.
Great Lakes.
We're in the Newfoundland area.
the,
No.
the Quebec model.
Yes, the Quebec specific model. They're cursed by God. No. So I think for me, it's hard to say because actually I totally agree with what you're saying, that I feel like everything I've seen is just makes it impossible for me to say. One thing I do want to preface this with is we didn't have a whole ton of like biblical evidence of where everything
Yeah.
exactly was until relatively recently, and we knew exactly where to look, you
Yeah.
know? And so like with us not knowing where to look, not knowing where to start, It's super hard to say.
You want to hear my conspiracy theory?
Yeah, dude.
What?
What?
Look, obviously Satan he rules this planet, the Earth, right?
Oh, I thought you were going to go into that satanic ritual abuse stuff.
On the last 116 pages, I bet the last if the 116 pages existed, we'd be able to find archaeological evidence like we do with Nahum and the Land Bountiful. With all the time that was spent over there, the detail. I mean, we lost an entire Book of Mormon essentially. We only have half of it. If we had the other half, that was the Book of Lehi, essentially, that dealt with his dealings, I bet there would have been evidence. I think when the devil took his due, I think that was the piece he wanted. I think that would have. I mean, there's enough just in Nephi talking about the journey that's just so spot on that I think the Book of Lehi would have been definitive. And people would be demanding explanations how this kid that was 22 years old wrote this in 65 days nonstop.
Yeah.
While it would demand explanation, and it would be less of a joke to people.
So 2 shout outs really fast
Absolutely.
before Brad reads more super chats. First off, shout out. I see Alicia Brown is in the text. She's one of our moderators on Discord. Make sure you guys check out our Discord. She'll be there. Super nice lady. And I see she's not a member. Somebody's got to gift her a membership. She's working hard down there. And the Aussie dollars don't always translate. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Alicia Brown, super awesome moderator for the Discord. And second, I looked up the unified model on Google, and look what the first suggested
Rod
question
Meldrum
was
excommunicated.
Rod Meldrum excommunicated. So I typed in, literally, look at this. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I literally typed in the unified model of the Book of Mormon, and the first suggested answer.
Do you guys know Rod Meldrum?
Was Rod Meldrum excommunicated? Like, what?
Rough.
Yeah, Cardin's had him on before.
Really?
Dude, so like,
Man, that's rough.
apparently there's enough people searching whether or not Rod Meldrum has been excommunicated. The Google questions had it be the first one that came up when you looked up the unified model of the Book of Mormon. That's funny, man. That's funny. A little friend of the show. Cool. I shouldn't say little. He's another big guy, too. So, Brad, keep going, my man. Keep going.
Okay, so first off, we got to welcome 15 people.
Nice.
So I'm just going to say the names of those who got them on.
Okay, rock on.
So donating 5 was Scrambler, and donating 10 was Travis Delaney again.
My boy Travis.
W in the chat.
Good man, Travis.
Times, everybody. WX15.
Boom. 15 W's.
Welcome to the WardRadio Warship. Now, next up, we've got Charles Neal saying, I volunteer at my state's max security prison every Sunday doing the LDS services. Also grew up in the church in SoCal. Love you guys.
Cool.
Oh, dude, rock on.
Very cool.
That is fantastic. Thank you for doing that kind of service. They need it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, next up, we got Latter-day Chad. And back on the video that we were discussing, what he had to say was he also describes us as the children, the Navajo guy that we were talking about earlier with the cool orange shirt. Mm-hmm. He also describes us as the children of the holy people, their deity, and that we came from a world before this. So he's straight up talking about the pre-existence, right? And then he says in another super chat, the whole video talks about the pre-existence too, and us being spirits who came down here. We reacted to the whole thing on Ladder Wave. And I think he means Chief Midegah. Midegah?
Yeah, Chief Midegah.
Says that the lodges have the same signs and tokens.
Rad.
Yes, he does.
And he says, I'd watch the first 10 seconds of that video too.
You should put a link to that maybe in the...
That's all Latter-day
I'd like
Chat.
to watch
Okay,
that.
so what's
yeah,
it?
and going to him talking about them believing in the pre-existence, like everybody before 4th, 5th, maybe even 6th century Christianity believed in pre-existence. Going through this book right now, do the Mormons have a leg to stand on? And he kind of goes through it. It's like everybody until modern Christians had
Who wrote
this
Do the
idea.
Mormons Have a Leg to Stand
What
On? Who
book
wrote
is that?
Do Mormons have a leg to stand on? Scott R. Peterson.
And is he pro or anti?
Oh, he's pro. So he's basically going through all the different doctrines: baptism, salvation, pre-existence,
All the
canon,
early
and
saints
Origen,
understood the
Tertullian,
pre-existence.
Saint Augustine, Justin Martyr, all those guys, and just tons of citations of them saying the type of stuff that we believe.
Yep.
Okay,
So,
what's the
it's
video
been a
I'm
pretty
looking
good
up
read.
again, Brad? Which one is it?
Luke, do you have that link still? If you can send that through to Carden, I'll read another.
Darn it. I have gotten rid of it.
Okay, I lost it too, Carden.
Okay.
If you do your search history, that one that they recently did, or I don't know if he wanted us to watch the first 10 seconds of the ladder wave video that he did with
I
Chief
think he
Midegah.
meant of his.
Yeah, or the one that he had us just watching. I don't know which.
Huh. Okay. Bummer.
But Latter Day Chad, we should have you on. We should chat about this more. That would be awesome.
Well,
should chat about
what
Dude,
if
hey, if they'll let me on, they'll let anyone on. For real.
Dude, that's for real.
But I do want to get on
dude,
here
you're
with Lego
Facts.
Joseph Smith.
Facts.
We will one day. Hey, help us talk him into it.
I'll talk to him. He's
Yeah.
my boy. I love that guy. I
He's
like.
the bomb.
I really like
You
him.
can just like tweet at him right now, and all of us will repost it right now,
Carden.
and we'll get him.
Dude,
Latter Day
you know what?
Chad
It's
says
again.
Navajo guy first 10.
It's weird.
Okay.
For real, that I have friends, people I consider friends that I've never met before. So it's
Yeah.
Twitter's a wild
I
place,
have
dude.
met
They're
Jacob
just
Hansen
covering
one
over our
time for
Oh,
breakfast
really?
at an IHOP. Yeah,
Oh,
for like an
yeah.
hour and a half. And I feel like I'm so close with him, but I've only met him one time.
That's funny. Okay, so we're back to the original Native American Navajo ceremony insights, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's our boy that is
First
just
10 seconds.
automatically wise no matter what.
Mind.
Here's
There's
first 10
this
seconds.
covering over our mind to shut out our memory as air beings. And before we were allowed to come into this world,
Okay, dude, so he's talking about the covering on our minds before we're allowed to come into this world, which yeah, I mean that's literally the passing through the veil.
A veil of forgetfulness.
Jeez,
Sounds
man.
an awful lot like that. That's so cool. I'm going to have to watch
No,
this.
this is what the church needs to do. We're sending out all these boring white suburban kids who's y'all use all these Protestant terms in sanitized discussions. We need to get our freaking Navajo brothers and sisters out there to freaking have the cool blanket, the sick rod, the turquoise necklace, the bandana on, and just use the Navajo terms and make it sound cool, and then we'll freaking be crushing the missionary
Dude,
work.
I have a boy who is on a mission right now in Mexico City, and he is 6'6". I bet he's 6'7" now. I grew until I was 23 years old. I grew after I got married. I grew another inch. And bright blue eyes, and he's like 1.5 feet taller than everybody. I think he sticks out enough there. Maybe he can talk to some people, though, that, have these traditions and, mix. They're all Catholic, mix a little bit of the Catholicism with the.
This dude literally just spouted Mormon doctrine,
Yeah,
and we're all
totally.
ready to go to his hut and freaking get baptized or do whatever cool ritual or do whatever. You know what I'm saying? We need to be doing. You were a missionary in New York, bro. You could do that outside of the freaking Lincoln Center. Wait, where's the chapel in Manhattan? Is it Lincoln Center?
The Kennedy.
No. Where? Come on. What's the exit? The subway exit in New York, Brad, for where the temple is? That's the chapel.
96th?
Yeah. Is that Lincoln Center?
Yeah, Lincoln Center. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. We see. I had it right, brother. I had it right.
yeah
So
boy.
we need to be doing that right outside the exit of the Lincoln Center, in front of the temple. Freaking subcontracted this guy and be like, look. Just tell the story you just said, but just say temple at this one part. Just say temple at this one part. You know what I'm saying? And boom shakalaka. We'll be cruising. So
Nice.
oh shoot.
Okay.
Creative
Next
Cloud
super
just
chat.
updated. Okay, hit it.
We've got Rex Good saying, I forgive Carden and Jonah for accusing me of subscribing to niceness culture.
Yeah, well,
Which
you're
is an
not.
ironically nice thing to do.
That's nice.
Yeah, and he's forgiven for the bad review he gave our shirt that he didn't buy, but he took that down, so he is forgiven.
He fixed it.
And there's freaking a 5XL sitting right there
5XL.
behind. Yeah, he said they didn't have 5XLT and they didn't have 6XL, but I was able to get a 5XL. So Rex,
My
send
man.
us your info, my man. Actually, I would say order it and I'll refund it, but I don't know how to do that yet on the software, so don't do that because I don't want to crash my own system. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
But
I'll
get
buy
us-
it for him.
You'll buy it for him?
Yeah, I'll buy it
Okay,
for him.
a gift. Okay, cool.
If you can get his address and send it, I'll pay for it.
Yeah. Get his address. Hey, look, see? You got a shirt sponsored by Doctor Manhattva. Rock on.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And dude, this lighting here, it's just what a vibe. You guys are used to this. I'm not,
yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
used
cool,
to
huh?
just being outside
So
and
cool.
being kind of ugly. My skin doesn't look this good normally, so.
Yeah, rock on, dude. Okay, Brad, hit it.
Okay, next up we got Clint Thompson saying jumping in late and see a lot of guys I really look up to.
Clint
Good
is
to
my
see
boy.
you there, Ben.
Yeah.
Well, you too, Clint.
Clint is a good one, dude. Clint is a good one.
Thank you, Clint. Compass Healing just gifted one Ward Radio membership just now. Had a W in the chat for Kimberly
WW.
Saunders.
Ooh, Kimberly Saunders. Okay.
Welcome
cool.
to the Ward Radio Warship. Then let's see. I'm going to go back to the one that's going to be a bit longer, but Travis says that he had to give 10 more. This episode is lit. Love you all.
What a stud. Latter-day
We appreciate
Chad.
it, man.
You guys are all awesome. I see
and then,
a lot of my homies here from Twitter or X. It's always going to be
I
Twitter.
feel like
Let's
this is
just
a
be
party
real.
that like
It's so hard to let go of Twitter.
Dude,
I still
true.
search it and I only get Twitch and I'm like, dang it.
Yeah,
like,
dude. When you look, if they don't have a better word for tweeting, like I sent a tweet, it's got to.
Yep.
I'm tweeting, right? I'm not Xing. So
Uh-huh.
until they come up with another word to replace that, it's Twitter to me.
Yep.
it's
next
kind of
up, we
like
got-
Mormon. Like we're not supposed
It's
to say
tough.
Mormon
You
anymore.
forget, yeah.
But there's no like it's like Twitter, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody calls it something else. Okay.
And my little girl, my youngest daughter, just said, "You're doing great, yay!" So she's
That's so
she's
good.
famous. So
Next up, we got Rebecca
job.
Rich saying, we all know which senator it was, and it wasn't Milquetoast Mitt Romney.
I try not to. Like when that whole video came out with Cybertruck and me, yelling at that guy, I didn't care for myself. I just cared about all my homies, like how I made them look. Like, you're friends with this guy and he has this temper. Yeah. So that's why when I talk about relationships, the last thing I want to do is, let me tell you about the time.
but don't they all follow you on burner accounts, bro?
They do. I think half my following is just my enemies, because the engagement rate that I get is so weirdly high. It's about 10 times higher than other people that have the same number of followers. I have people that have 250,000 followers that I send my engagement rates to, and they say you have more engagement than I do. I said, well, just embrace your enemies.
Yeah.
Embrace your enemies. And
So are you like secretly down with Pierre Delecto and like he's got your,
dude,
like
I
burner
have
account?
so many Pierre Delectos that are just always, they're screen grabbing me. They're man, there are some weird people out there. There are some really weird people. There are people out there, and I'm not exaggerating, that probably have more pictures of me on their phone than I have of me on my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
There are legitimate weird stalkers, and it's I guess the term for what I am, that being called a micro celebrity sounds way too important for what I am. I'm nothing, but yeah, people recognize me whenever I drive around in Cybertruck and I'm with the kids. Everyone starts yelling as we're driving in Salt Lake City. Is that Manhattva? And I roll down the window and they wave, and it's
Nice.
It's funny.
Wait, like
So,
people like recognize you in Salt Lake City?
every day on the way to the airport, driving the truck to the airport. Yeah, my kids, my wife are in the car. It's like 6 a.m, and some guy pulls up and he's like, "Hey, I'm a reporter from the Deseret News. I shouldn't disclose this. Can I interview you about X, Y, and Z?" So I opened up I followed him on Twitter and DMing with him every day. I pick up my kids from school. I've been trapped in the freeway where people are on all four sides filming just because of the truck. But now that they're more common, I think it's because they want to yell at me. Maybe they're cyclists and they really don't.
So what are you going to do when the Cybertruck is kind of passe? What are you going to do when the Cybertruck's passe and you got to get another standout vehicle?
Dude,
Is it a Bugatti?
No,
Are you going to walk
no.
around saying, "What color is your
No.
Bugatti?"
I promise you, a Bugatti does not get as much attention as this vehicle. And I've actually said to my kids when they're in it, I said, enjoy it while it's like this, because they are going to become.
Because there's like 10 in my hometown.
They're going to become ubiquitous, and everyone's going to have them.
Oh, okay.
But right now, it's cool. Right now, everybody sees them. Everyone wants to ride in it. No joke. Again, I'm not trying to be dramatic. The only people that give me like a thumbs down are cyclists.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be dramatic or theatrical. Like, truthfully,
They should be
Everyone
on board
else-
with the electric stuff, though.
dude, they hate
Like-
You want to hear my other weird thing?
Yeah,
My
yeah,
other weird
what?
conspiracy?
What?
Okay, there are people in the world that, I don't know, there's like, I guess, like the way when a dog walks into a room where there's a cat, and the cat all of a sudden the hair on its back sticks up. There are cats and there are dogs, and like there are people like if you talk about like Trump, Trump could like hand them $1 billion, they'd still hate him. Same with Elon Musk. Elon Musk does something wrong, they just hate him. Like the reason those people were talking heat to me about the Cybertruck wasn't really about the Cybertruck. It's that they hated Elon Musk. I have people like that on Twitter, and it's like they're programmed. It's like NPCs are a real thing. Do you guys know what NPCs are?
Non-playable characters.
Yeah, the little meme. It's just like the PBS logo. I don't know if you even knew it was the PBS logo, but it's the PBS logo.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. That's funny.
But there are just non-playable characters in my life. Maybe I'm the main character. I don't know. But it almost seems like there are people programmed that just don't like me. They don't like Elon Musk. They don't like Donald Trump. There are people that don't like the church. But I don't know. There's just a weird energy, and I guess sometimes people have that.
Let me give you some scriptural backup on the NPC thing.
Okay.
2 Nephi 2.
Okay.
Dude,
there needs to be opposition
and not be acted upon.
Yes.
If we become the kind of people who are only acted upon, I think we kind of become NPCs.
Yes.
If you were to translate that,
most people
is telling you.
Most people are not content producers. Most people are content consumers. Does that make sense?
Yes. In fact, that's literal response I have received in answer to prayer when I've asked Heavenly Father, how can I be better and what can I be doing? I have gotten the distinct answer, create more than you consume, right? And I think he wants us to be creators like he is.
Yeah.
And
that is really what separates us from beasts, animals, is we can create. We can create cities, buildings, skyscrapers. I love Elon Musk. I'm into space. I'm into rockets. I bought a place in Florida during COVID just so I could be closer to watch the rockets take off.
Dude, that's awesome.
I love the act of creation, and that's something that is godly about us.
Okay, so check this out. Mid-Journey, I just typed in Doctor Manhattva riding in a Cybertruck with cyclists charging the Cybertruck. Dr. Manhattva from Twitter.
Yes.
So this is the first
That's
one that
pretty much my real life.
Yeah. Here's the second one that came up.
When I'm driving around City Creek Canyon.
This one was kind of cool right here. And then here's one, and it's got a little space laser drone.
Dude,
and
it has that in real life on the inside. You can change the color. I keep it red at night.
That's cool.
Night vision.
And then here's this one right here. Here's this one, which looked pretty ill. This one looked very action-y. So there's Dr. Manhattva in his Cybertruck.
You know what my big worry about coming on here was?
What?
I can never be as cool as I see him on Twitter. It's just not a thing.
There is one point in your favor.
Yeah.
You'll have General Patton, who is very old and brash, and I'm the big man here. Joseph Stalin, same type of thing. Both of them had very high pitched voices. You hear them in recordings, especially Joseph Stalin. He's like, yes. You are not like that. The voice does match. Yes.
Well, I'm glad my voice matches.
Expect.
But I haven't lifted weights in 2 years. I'm getting old. I'm getting gray. See all this coming in here? I didn't have this 5 years ago.
Oh, dang.
Rock on.
So
comes in quick.
You know what's super weird? I've been taking copper, and copper is making the color come back in my beard a little bit.
Really?
Huh. So
wait, taking copper? You can just ingest copper, you suck on a penny or something?
I guess you could suck on a penny too, if that's even made of copper anymore. But yeah,
that's the best way to do that.
I just have a copper supplement, and it hasn't cured my grayness, but I'm less gray than I was. It was pretty pronounced. So there's a hot tip.
Dude, that's kind of cool. Does it have any other side effects? Is make you smarter, make you more horny, make you you fart a lot?
Maybe I don't know. I'm just living my life. I take some fish oil and
it's a metal. It kind of makes me
D,
wonder. Does it give you you hear about these people that went crazy from mercury poisoning in the 1800s? I don't know. Is Dr. Manhattva going to walk out because he's seeing pink elephants?
If that happens, somebody's got to grab me and tell me. Yeah, someone's got to tell me and let me know.
Okay, cool. So
next up we got Kevin Nelson, dude.
Hit it.
And this one is for you. It's tell us some of the history of the ranch.
Oh, for me, huh?
Yeah.
The ranch is super cool. I was joking with Carden. They filmed parts of Yellowstone on the ranch.
Really?
Yeah, and I was joking with Carden. I said, actually, Kevin Costner pays me money to pretend to be me.
So what's the ranch? Is this like a euphemism for the Bunny Ranch, and you own that brothel
So again, because I don't want to expose partners to, make them. Apparently, I'm super controversial.
So is it property you own with Dallin H. Oaks?
No, not with Dallin H. Oaks, but there are some prominent people.
Bednar?
But it goes back a couple generations. My dad bought it the year I was born, and he paid $116.10 an acre, and it was bigger than the island of Manhattan, and it's right by Park City. It's 2 minutes out of Park City.
Really?
So he carved it up. He was 39 years old, I think, and he carved it up into 40-acre pieces and sold off enough, about 5,000 acres, to pay it off. At that time, it had to be sold because of Jimmy Carter's inheritance tax. So when the sheep herder died, it was a sheep ranch. There was a 50% tax, so they had to sell the ranch.
Oh, man.
And interest rates were 22%. So for him to put together, like $1.6 million in the late 70s was a tall order. So he had family, in-laws and people, and they're good people to this day, and they're very prominent people to this day, and I don't want ever to have them be embarrassed by my controversy. But I'm partners with them. So it's my brother and I. We have half the ranch, and our other partners, and there's quite a few of them because I think they're in the fourth generation. And I have a big white barn that's mine that I helped my dad build, and I was in my early 20s, made out of steel, and we're going to get it finished, and we'll go up there and have a big party. It's a cool ranch. It's a privilege to have.
Hey, Quaku's got a spot to throw one of his degenerate young and dumb party. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's a privilege to have anything to do with it, and for some weird reason, Lord has put me in a place where I get to have that, and it's cool, a great honor. It's a great honor.
So next one, Brad.
Awesome. Next up, Mason Borders. I like this one. This is, what is your guys' best advice of what to do and what not to do on a mission, or to just share the gospel in general? So best advice.
Bro, I didn't go on a mission. I was playing in a band.
No.
I was the lead singer in a band. Yeah, I should have gone. And if I could do it again, my advice would be to go. That's step number one. Go. It's not really an option. You are commanded to go. I'm very pleased with how my life has turned out. If I could have the same outcome, I would definitely have gone on a mission. But I do have a boy on a mission. I told my boy, you got to make up for me. Someday you might be pulling me through the veil, trying to save me, along with everyone else. So hopefully I can get my boys. I've got 5 kids, got 3 sons. Let's see if we can get them all going. So,
okay,
that's awesome, dude.
Cool.
That's so good.
Rock on. Fog Defense says, I hear depleted uranium isn't good for you when delivered via 50 cal.
Dude, I have a 50 cal up at the ranch.
No, yeah, but that's...
was that a super chat?
That was one of the comments
Carden
from
just
a
wanted
member.
to read that one really bad.
No, but it's a joke. It's a military joke. I believe he's referencing the A-ton Warthog.
BRAP.
Whose bullets
BRRRRRAP. BRAP. Yeah.
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 It's like basically a flying machine gun.
Dude, it's death from above.
Yeah, and they've got this gun that shoots bullets, and they needed so much of a strong metal to make for these bullets.
They needed to be heavy. They needed the density, and so much more dense than lead. They used depleted uranium.
Yeah, so the only metal they could find that could fulfill the requirement of the bullet
for tank busting, so it could penetrate through the armor of tanks.
Yeah, was depleted uranium. Yep. So the bullets are literally like practically radioactive.
They are, and there's a lot of people that are like super sick now from if. First of all, when a depleted uranium bullet goes into a tank, it's not like it just pings around. It's like it's like a nest full of bees of depleted uranium. It just sparks and everyone's dead. But
oh man.
Well, and then also think about it. Like it unleashes 1,000 per second. When you hear the there's just 3,000 bullets.
It's one of the coolest sounds in the world, dude.
And And so now the ground there is just filled with 3,000 little chunks of depleted uranium. And it's like an environmental disaster every time that gun shoots.
But there are stories of these guys that are, it was, during the Gulf Wars, and they're in real trouble. They're getting attacked by like the Iraqi army. And all of a sudden they just see the ugliest plane. It's called the Warthog.
It's made by Fairchild
the A-10
Republic.
Warthog.
The A-10 Warthog. And they said the most beautiful sound in the entire world was that rap, just destroying everything, killing everything. And all of a sudden their enemies are all gone.
It's on your team, right?
Yeah, and you're about to die, and you hear that come from above. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of
So look,
stories
they've
about
got, this is my ASMR right here. This is my ASMR awesome A-10 Thunderbolt Brat compilation.
Yeah, that's
It's so good.
Just fall asleep to this.
I second that.
Just like
I do want to, if I could, I do want to go back to Mason Border's
awesome.
super chat about advice for a mission.
Yes.
My personal one
Thank
would
you,
be
Luke.
own your personal study time. Because there's very few times in your life where for you, built into your schedule is a designated time for you to sit down with no phone. I guess they have those on missions now. I was in West Africa. Get that phone out of there, sit down, and just like you probably won't have a time like this outside of those 2 years.
Yeah.
And so just like own that, make it yours, do what you want to do, obviously gospel related during that time, and just like get what you can out of it. And I think especially like sometimes homesickness is a problem, or like lack of confidence is a problem. It kind of turns into like a meditative time almost, where it's just like you doing you. Uninterrupted. If your companion has picked up a bad culture of kind of sloughing that off or putting other things in there, try and clear that out as much as possible and just own that personal study time. So
I like you,
that's
Luke.
my advice.
Yeah.
Dude, that's killer advice.
I'm
And
gonna
if I
tell
can
my
add
boy
to
that.
it, do it. That's good. If I can add to that, I would say, pray and ask God how you can use your talents and how you can specifically be the servant in his hands that he would have you be, because you're in the place that you are for a reason. And if you are striving to magnify the work that God's called you to do, he will magnify that work through you as you lean into those talents he's given you. I'd encourage you to really just lose yourself in serving others. There's a fascinating thing where like I try not to let it be a thing where you're trying so hard to keep the rules because you want to be obedient. This was what I did as a missionary. I was like,
No, you were a rule follower.
dude, so bad. Like I was
yeah.
the most rule follower. Part of it was in reaction to some of the companions I had right off the bat.
Yeah.
They would like be sleeping in till noon. So I was like, well,
Bro, that's
it was bad. It was bad.
Then you get
And
a
so I
bucket
was
of
like, I
water.
guess personal studying until noon now,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. So it was a reaction of mine, but don't get so hung up in the rules for the sake of the rules. Live with charity for the people that you're there to serve. And that doesn't just include the people that you're out there trying to teach. It also includes your companions.
that's a big one.
Yeah, you gotta be there to serve everybody there. And I know that God will strengthen you as you strive to do that more.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'll tell him this on Tuesday. It's his P day, so I can FaceTime him.
To piggyback on what you said, Brad, gosh, what 90% of your mission is spent outside of lessons.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so like
Well,
really
I mean, maybe
that's where the mission...
not my mission, but
Wait, what are you saying? Yours was higher or yours was lower?
oh, it depends on the time of my mission. Actually, there was one area where it was like wall to wall lessons all the
Awesome.
time. It was fascinating. I was in New York, and so like we had different areas had vastly different kinds of reception. And so there were times when it would be very, very few lessons, but times when it would just be
Blowing up.
we're trying so hard to get from one appointment to the other. We're barely making it by the time we're there. And we would have like backup lessons behind our lessons that were like, this person would want us to come by anyway. So we're going to be going there. And it was just nonstop till we got home. So, but either way, like you're saying, Luke, your self-discipline on what you're going to do with your time, that's totally on you.
Like Well, I was in West Africa, highest baptizing area in the church.
Wow.
Thinking
Oh,
about
wow.
my mission, so much of it was not lessons. Like thinking about it, I'm thinking a lot about meals. I'm thinking about dinner. I'm thinking about
I
taking bucket
have so much
showers,
respect for you, bro.
personal
Going
study.
to West Africa, that's tough. You are a tough man. That is admirable.
Thank you.
For real.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Little more of a tan back then.
Yeah, I have a young man in my ward, like just solid kid, redhead. You know, family really good looking redheads, which is, you know, I don't know, but they're all beautiful people. And yeah, he just came back and reported, and West Africa's tough, dude. You're a tough man.
Dude, cool, man. All right,
Yeah,
dude, we
dude,
only
that's
got
impressive.
like 5 more minutes left here, so can you
Okay,
burn through these super chats?
Yeah, we got to welcome Zach Doomit in the chat.
Okay.
Everyone, leave a W to welcome Zach Doomit to the WardRadio Warship.
All right, rock on.
And then next up, Latter Day Chad says, also message me on Instagram or Discord so I can plan to come on sometime. So,
And
looks like-
I did already. I messaged you on Instagram.
nicely done.
And yes, you've answered back. Okay, cool.
Next up, we got Kaori, I think is going to be the way I'm going to choose to pronounce that. And they say in parentheses, not parentheses, in quotes, those hungriest to learn will be fed the most. That's good.
Rock on.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
When you have that desire,
Yeah.
that really roots all of the truth into you in a very, very good way.
Yes.
Dude, it's just wild to me the way that a mission can impact your life if you let it, and it's all through serving others. And this is the mistake I made was like I one time had my mission president telling me, Elder Whitbeck, it's okay to talk about home sometimes, right? Because I would get so like focused and be like, no, we're here for the work, bro, and that's
Dude,
it.
I
Like,
should hire you. You're the type of guy I want working for me. Just like, you know.
Were
Yeah,
you one
dude.
of those? Were you would? I was halfway like you, Brad. I had a missionary be like, when you go and stand by the door when it's time to leave, it feels like you're judging all of us for not being ready on time. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm homesick and I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do here.
that was me for the first like maybe 6 months of my mission.
Yeah, that was my second transfer that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually wasn't homesick because I'd already moved out, and I had like moved to Canada right after graduating. So I was like, what am I missing at home?
That sounds so wild. And I just moved
Yeah.
to Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I had a cousin up there, so I was like, hey, bro, let's work. And so I don't know, it was a different challenge for me, but it taught me a side of charity that I didn't realize I needed to learn. And that really changed the way that I operated as a missionary over time, right? And I think made me not just a more effective missionary, but I think a much better person than I was when I started, and helped like make me a lot more like Christ than I was before. And so I think that's the way that you be the best missionary you can be, is by becoming more like Christ as you strive to just serve other people, not to like keep the rules that God gave you, but to love them as Christ loved them, right?
Yep. And you're going to run into people that you would have never run into if you weren't doing what you were doing. Different part of the planet. My boy he's in the rural, very extremely poor Mexico City, on the outskirts of Mexico City, and what I've said multiple times is I cannot teach my son adversity and hardship. So, the main function of him going is to serve the Lord and to proclaim the gospel. But a really nice thing that accompanies that is that he's learned adversity. He's learned what it's like to be very poor, to eat things that you don't necessarily want to eat because they're being offered to you, and and how to just love the simplest people that you may ever meet in your entire
Your
life.
guys' mission was so much different than mine, dude. Like, my mission president was like, Cardin, you're big, and you seem to be able to handle the city well. And I keep having all these pansies writing me letters week after week. They want to get out. So here's a tough area with a crappy spot that was shut down because of misbehavior of elders only like 6 months ago. So here, yeah, you could take this crappy job.
And how'd you do? How'd you do?
I did well, and it sucked. I wish
Of course
I
you
hadn't.
did, dude.
I wish I hadn't. I wish I was
Do
one of those
hard
pansies
things.
that slept until midday.
My dad-
because Mormon boomers will spoil the crap out of their loser
My
kids.
dad made
and
me. My dad made me remember this, and it's a misquote, from one of the general authorities or apostles, and so it's been kind of murdered a little bit. But I memorized it the way that he made me memorize it, and it was, do things that are hard to do, for they will become easy to do. Not that the nature of the thing has changed, but your ability to do has increased. Luke is going to tell me who
Or you can just keep
I
sleeping
don't
in.
remember.
Or you can just keep sleeping
No,
in until the
do
mission president
things that are
calls
hard
you to be
to
the
do.
office elder, so then you get
No.
all the good food and you get it's the
hard
cushest
things.
life.
Do
Being
hard things.
Spoiled by silly freaking Mormon grandparents that think by throwing money at the problem and you're the problem only gets better.
Do
The best cash paying
hard
job you
things.
can, and then suffer, because then when you ask them for money, then they're like, oh no, we're struggling Bill's character. Like, I'm sick of character. I want the cash and the free lunch that all the losers that sleep in get. I got enough
Carden.
character. I got a surplus of character.
I could see Carden in real time being like, oh shoot, this live stream's becoming too normal and level-headed.
It's like,
I got
we got to wild this thing up.
So, Carden, to
Do
be
hard
fair,
things, Carden. Do hard things.
I do hard things every day.
You do. I admire you for it.
I don't think sleeping in was like that endemic on my mission. I think it was unique to my initial place that I was in my mission. And I don't think they slept until noon every day. That was like, I think that only happened once. And it was after like a really late night with something weird. But
That might have been a bigger problem, sleeping till noon.
That's funny, dude. That's funny. Okay, so do you have any last super chats before we got to go here, bro? Any last super chats?
no, I think we are all caught up.
I love all
Okay.
you guys from X and Twitter that popped on to watch. You guys are awesome. And I know who you are, and I appreciate you.
Okay, cool. So then we got a little bit of an outro here. First off, thanks for all the members that showed up, and welcome to all of the new members. Thanks to Brad Whitbeck for being the keeper of the chats. What's that guitar behind you, Brad? Can you do a little serenade as we outro? You know? Bruh, we're waiting.
I haven't played a guitar in so long. This isn't mine.
Oh, it's not? Oh.
No.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Dude, it's been so long.
Serenade us, dog.
Chair.
All you need to know is G, D, and C. That's
Yeah,
it.
bro.
G, D, and C.
Yeah.
So improv a WardRadio outro for us, dog.
Hey, wait. Which one's C? This? No.
Dude, you're the freaking master musician.
If I had a
tell us,
guitar, I'd
dog.
show you, but I haven't played guitar in forever either.
C is okay. That one, right? Yeah, that looks C-ish because it's reversed. Yeah, that one looks like
Okay.
I think
C.
that's a B, but that's upside down.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
and
the
upside down
mics, the mic software might actually filter out that noise because it thinks it's background noise.
Oh, let's see. Start.
Oh, it might be.
Let's see. Let's see if it does.
Can you hear it?
Oh, it is filtering it out.
Wow.
That sucks.
Fancy.
It's getting rid of the guitar?
I can't hear it.
Yeah,
Completely.
Guys,
Can't
I'm
hear a
playing
thing.
so good right now.
I bet it's amazing.
It's
Trust
amazing.
you.
dude, we literally couldn't hear a single note.
That's
So I guess it
fascinating.
turned into an ad for, is that the Shure MV7?
Yeah, dude, this mic is the bomb. We use this
Wow.
for voiceover all the time, Riley and I.
Mhm.
It's so good. Luke, you got one too?
Yeah, is it the
Yeah.
mic that filtered it out, or was it Zoom that
The
filtered
mic
it out?
filters it.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
that
it's
is
a really
intriguing.
killer dynamic mic.
Oh, that is so intriguing. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Buy some WardRadio hats
yeah, dude, right there.
right here.
Yeah.
Makes
buy-
you look younger and more violent. You look like you just got out of prison.
I love how many people are scared of me. I'm the nicest guy in the
Darkens
world.
your eyes, you know?
And
Okay. And don't forget, guys, buy a shirt. If you guys go to wardradio.com, you can buy a shirt or a hat. You can look like Ben Rogers, a.k.a. Doctor Manhattva right here. Or you can look like my lovely wife, Brittany the Shadow. Either way, the merch is
Lovely
cool.
lady.
Make sure you check it out there. Also, If you're feeling generous, please contribute through Zelle. That's the best way to contribute through the channel. However, you can also find us on Venmo or the Cash App. Also, Luke works really, really hard, bringing us the latest and greatest in news. If you guys can, please make sure that you check out Ward Radio News. In fact, I'm just going to bring it up here.
We're going to be covering what KSL got themselves into a little partisan trouble 2 days ago.
I'll be watching that.
What did they do?
I will put that out on Monday.
Yeah. So what did they do, bro? Just really fast. Reader's Digest version. What did they do?
They basically called the Utah Republican Party. Oh, what was the word?
Like, are you tired of their antics?
The shenanigans, the antics.
Yeah.
The antics.
Are you tired of the Republican?
Are you tired of the antics?
Yes. And Glenn Beck was talking about that today. So
yeah, Mike Lee was, Glenn Beck was. I believe you were.
I've been saying for a while they got to get their house in order. This can't go on. This can't, Yeah.
So has KSL been taken over by the Progmos?
I'm going to put Mike Lee's tweets, all of those things together in an article, and
I'll read it.
Send a
I'm
request
excited
for
about
comment
it.
that they probably won't answer, and yeah, we'll have that out on Monday.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So make sure you guys check him out, Luke. Here. Here's the news blog for Ward Radio News. If you want to sign up to the newsletter and get these things in your email inbox, make sure you go to the bottom of the homepage and see right there where it says sign up for our newsletter. Make sure you sign up there. Also, Brad, you got to pub your book before we go, dog. You're super cool. Dragon Thief, man. You got a copy of Dragon Thief you can show up?
Yeah, bro. Check this out. My wife and I are fantasy authors.
Yeah.
We wrote a book called Dragon Thief. It is a super fun fantasy adventure. We're putting the fun back in fantasy. It's basically like if you had a Venn diagram, it's somewhere between Aragon, Mistborn, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you enjoyed any of those,
awesome, Brad.
What about A Court of Thorns and Roses? Like, is it solid fairy smut? Because the ladies in my ward
smut
is the ladies. The ladies in my ward are just eating up.
I could just see Brad typing in this.
Is Bridgerton?
Lascivious,
is it a prisoner?
Bridgerton.
What's the phrase that all the chicks are loving on Twitter right now? Hello, Feyre. Or no, what's the no? Come on, Come on, it's
you are the only one that knows what.
No, it's A Court of Thorns and Roses. All the chicks are into it right now. It's the book about the fairies. It's like 50 Shades of Grey meets Twilight.
Before.
Oh,
I've heard of this. I've definitely heard of this. It's a thing, but I don't know what you're quoting.
Is it like a TikTok thing?
Yeah, it's like hello,
like
Feyre.
An actual thing.
Or wait, no, hello, Feyre, and they ask all the hot British guys to say it. Yeah, it says everyone stop requesting. Hello, Feyre, darling. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Hello, Feyre, darling. Yeah, there's people that are like, it's from the audio book of it, and it's like literally it's like 50 Shades of Grey meets freaking Twilight, dude. And it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of like chicks.
You're into different things than me. I'm into like just being a jerk on the internet.
I've read one other book by this writer, and it was clean. But I know that the ACOTAR thing is like spicier, but I don't think it's like 50 Shades of Grey level. But I don't know. I haven't read it, so.
There's 37.4 million views on Hello Feyre Darling right now on Twitter. I just pulled it up. 37.4 views on Hello Feyre Darling. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. The chicks are digging it. That and Bridgerton on Netflix. Bridgerton, it's kind of like Pride and Prejudice meets Friends in Downton Abbey. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
We live different lives, my friend.
Yeah, dude. So anyway, all right, look, the point is this. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. It's been real, and it's been fun, and it's been real fun. As always, for this and more, please make sure you guys check us out at WardRadio.com.
I built a rocket in my basement. I'm gonna fly it to the moon. This supersonic is amazing. You're gonna feel my sonic boom. I'm flying higher and I'm never coming down. Look at me now.